Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Digital Art with Jesus Conde, and today we're going to be doing this painting. It's a waterfall painting with some kind of a bridge. I thought it would be cool to have a bridge in there, kind of like some kind of a magical forest or something. And I had a lot of fun painting it. So let's get started. As you know, I have my perspective grid, which I will explain in another tutorial how I do it. A lot of people has been asking about it, so I said I was going to do it. It's coming out soon, so don't worry about it. So right now, as you can see at the top left, I have a painting that I found online. It's another painter. His name is Kevin. He has a YouTube channel also. The channel is called Paint with Kevin, and I saw this painting was cool, and I wanted to try something similar because I don't like to start from nothing on my mind. And since this is kind of like something that I do for fun and just to show you the way I work, I didn't want to think too much about it. So just because I'm doing it myself, at the end it looks completely different. So don't stress out too much if you think you're like doing something somebody already did or something like that. Just because you're doing it, at the end it will look different because you're not the same person, right? So at some point you're gonna see that I'm using different reference. Right now what I'm trying to do is just get the sketch going. Notice that I'm not using lines too much. It's more like shadows here and there, general shapes, not too much detail at all. In fact, my brush is kind of big actually. I'm not using like a tiny brush or something, so that's very important that you keep in mind. What you want to do at this stage of the painting is try to spend less time as possible. It's just going forward. And not so accurate, because if you get to the details really soon, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna get busy with it, and then it's going to suffer a lot in time. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is trying to start coloring and putting some colors here and there, but I'm not too serious about it. I want you to really understand that at this point I'm trying to just define what my lighting is coming from, kind of, but don't get to like, you don't have to color everything, like everything that is going to be brown right away or everything that is going to be green right away. I'm trying just to work slowly, trying to build the image slowly. That's something I've been trying to do lately, because I used to have this approach where I do the line art and then put all the color and then the shadows and stuff like that, and it's useful, it's very good to work that way. But doing it this way is kind of like you try to think more about all the lighting that is going on, what colors are where and why. And I'm trying to change my mind in terms of the way I work. Okay, so I thought the light was coming from the right, but I actually have some kind of a fog or something at the back of the image. It's really light, so that also can look like a source of light, but it's actually more like some kind of a haze or fog in the background, and the light is hitting it, so it's not the same thing. Right now I'm trying to put some blue and purple colors, also the light greens, but I really want you to see that it's looking pretty bad right now. And something that a lot of people ask me is like, how can I just, because they think that people, I don't know, some people have asked me and they think that all painting, I know what to do all the time, and I actually don't know what to do all the time, really. It's really more like trying to find that painting, and you just gotta keep working at it. and you're not going to do that in just 20 or 30 minutes. You gotta spend the time trying to find the image that you're making, and trying to put the colors on. Look at reference. At that point, I was already looking for some reference in my cell phone, and you will see those images later. Those images that I looked for reference in terms of like what the water should look like. So in the photo that I was looking, there was more brown in the water than blue. This is very important. The blue that was in there was really dark, and in the part of the background, or what I think the background should be, it was more like the color of the leaves, the brown leaves, but really bright, so it looks kind of like an orange. The rocks were more like white, and it's just the shadow that looks really dark. And the I don't remember how to call that, is the mug, which is the green on top of the rocks, was really it's very green. It's very, very green, like kind of like a very saturated kind of green. So because I'm trying to work the light colors first, I'm really focusing on the subsurface scattering, which is when the light goes through the leaves and they look like a really bright green. Later I will put some darker green in there, and right now I'm putting some dark blues, but then I combine it with a little bit of brown from the rocks, because if this water is reflecting those rocks that I have in there, it should be the same color, right? And now I'm trying to work some ideas. Like I wanted to make this different and do it my way, and I couldn't find the way to do that. Like I had that reference that I was looking at the beginning, but now I just stopped looking at it, and now I'm trying to do something different and something new on this image. So I added this tree here, and I'm thinking about that rock in the back. First, I thought it would be cool to have some kind of a rock with a face. Then what you guys saw in here that I just did was just copy everything and make it smaller. I wanted the image to be more open. So the fastest way for me to do that is just to copy the whole image and put it in like smaller size, and then just try to blend the corners of the smaller image with the image on the back. And right now what I'm doing is just adding some kind of a bridge. I thought having a bridge in there is cool. I don't know why, like I always thought that the bridges on paintings look kind of like something like between fantasy and kind of romantic. I don't know. And I thought it would be cool to have a bridge in there. And right now it doesn't look at all like it will look at the end, but it's a process. You gotta kind of like take your time and just doing it slowly. So I thought it will be cool to have this, those trees that comes down and touch the water or something. At some point I thought it would be cool to have something like that. Then I just quitted the idea, but I left that there because I don't want to use Ctrl Z too much, because I want the image to feel really like traditional painting as much as I can. I was trying to do something like a different brush, but at the end I just used the normal one that I always use, which you can find the link in the description. It's just a brush that it's kind of like a square, and what you get is that each time that you put down the brush on the canvas, what you're gonna get is a slightly different color of the one that you picked. So that gives a lot of range in terms of colors on your image. So if you're using green, what you get is like a different kinds of green just by picking one. So that's cool, because it makes people think that you work the image a lot more than you actually did, because you have a lot more of changes on color, and that's something that really brings the image alive, in my opinion. So there's a little part of this process missed. I missed that part, the recording. But what I did was really simple. I just took the color, the dark color of the rocks, and painted the rocks on top, all of them. So now it doesn't have, like, if you remember what we had before, we have a lot of empty spaces. We had a lot of empty spaces between the brush strokes that I did. So what I did was take the color of the rock and just like paint on top of all the rocks. So now they're all dark. If I want to do something like lighting on the rocks, I have to use a lighter color. And I say sorry because of that. Like I for some reason I didn't press the record button. I can only record this thing like just little time on the day. So you have to like take each moment that I have to free moment that I have to record this thing. So that's what happened. Anyway, now I'm just adding some details that I think there should be there. But right now I'm not looking at reference, so I'm having trouble trying to think where things should be, and it starts to look like all the same. I'm also like concerned about where there should be detail, where it shouldn't. Some parts have to read better. The lighting is not that great. So I'm thinking a lot of stuff at the same time right now, and I'm like, this needs to get better somehow. So the only way to spot the mistakes and or to make the image come to life is to actually look at reference and trying to find what's missing between what I have and the reality. Right now I'm just changing a little bit of the levels on the image, and here is the reference that I was telling you about. So right now I'm just trying to add some difference in tones on the tree, like it had something on the crest of the tree, on the branches, something that looks just more interesting, less like just brush strokes of brown in there and that's it, just to bring it more to life, you know what I mean. Also, I'm looking at the bottom image of reference that I have there, and I noticed that there's a lot of brown in that image for some reason. Also in the rocks there's little brown things. I remember that I did a painting before of a kind of like a river or something, and I remember that I had some brown for some reason, like dead leaves, like fallen leaves, and I did that. I just put some brown on the bottom of everything, and it came to life. Really cool. I think it changed the image completely, and that's one thing that I wouldn't notice if I wasn't looking at reference. It's really important to look at reference all the time. So right now I'm just adding some white, because in the reference that I got, so the rocks are actually light, and just the shadows are the parts that are really dark. So that also gave some three-dimensionality is the word. Like, they look more three-dimensional now because of those changes on the tone and on the value. Like right now you can see where the light is coming from actually, and that's really important too. Here I'm adding some dark on everything, but it's important that you see that I'm using the dark color that I used a few seconds ago is actually green. I'm not using like black, and that's really important. You cannot. It's not that you cannot use it, but you shouldn't, because there's no completely black in of course, in this sunny day like that, what I'm doing, it wouldn't happen that way. It will be more light. Everything will be lighter. So right now I'm just adding detail everywhere. You can see that I tried to put some kind of a face there with horns. I don't like it too much. I thought it was too like too out there, that I wanted to do something like fantasy or something like that. And actually I think avoiding that really stretching that direction and just putting some kind of an arc in there on the bridge actually looks better, at least for me. Some people will say, hey, why you leave the face in there? But in my opinion, it looks better now without it, and just arc of 3 branches. Alright, so now I'm starting to sketch a little bit of detail on top of the water, because I didn't know what to do. So I'm just like trying to find some place that I can put some more splashes, and just adding some more detail overall. At the end, what I'm going to do is just get rid of some detail, because I think the water has too much lines, and then I just do like a small pass with a big brush on top of everything, just to cover some of that. Now I'm just adding some little detail on the foreground, because the thing with the foreground is that to really make it look like it's a foreground, that it has to be more detailed than the background. At least that's what I think it should look like, unless that you're doing some kind of there's no depth of field, and what you want to do is like put everything out of focus, and just the thing that you want people to look at will be on focus. But right now we're kind of like if we were using a 35mm camera or something like that, so you wouldn't have too much depth of field. Alright, so right now I'm just adding more and more darker tones on the rocks and the 3 branches and everything. I'm testing if putting these kind of like specular highlights with the color of the sky could make things look wet. Didn't work so well. Now I'm just switched to a little bit to the green to add some detail everywhere. And what you're gonna notice is that I'm doing things faster. I know that the video is already speed up, but I'm actually working faster, because I put a timer of 30 minutes. So that means that I have just 30 minutes to finish the painting from what I have right now to the end. So that's something that I do a lot, because I cannot spend more time doing this kind of thing. It really takes a lot of effort just to try to make this and work at the same time and study and everything. So I just put like 30 minutes on this image every day until it's done, and then I record the voices. It takes more than like 1 hour or something, even if you don't think something like that would take that time, but it does. Alright, so later what I did was, if you notice, I put a really dark blue and then put that layer on multiply, and I erased the part where I wanted to have light. So that's basically just what I did. Just put the huge layer with the dark color of your choosing, the color that you want to put. Normally it will be blue because of the sky that is blue, and then I just put it a multiply and erases the parts where the light should be. So that makes everything darker. And it gives you a sensation like the parts that are going to be light. So right now I'm actually doing actual light colors to make some indication that it is actually light here, because of maybe the sun, that part is catching the sun a little bit more or something like that. And I did some stairs coming from the bridge, and I'm just doing some more trees on the background, which I think I needed. And now I'm just doing what I told you a few minutes ago, just putting some huge brush strokes to get rid of some detail of the water. And now it's done. This is the final image. Really hope you like it. After some, just a little bit of fog here and there. That's it. That's basically all the process. For the fog, it's more like just having really low opacity in a layer and just doing little brush strokes everywhere where you think the fog should be. It's more like a steamy kind of fog. It's not like so foggy. Right now I'm trying to just get rid of some detail in the corners that they catch too much attention. So this is it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up or activate the notifications of your phone so you can see when a new video is up. Today on the share wall we have Thomas, and he made this character. I thought it was really cool, really nice. It's very traditional looking, but I really like I liked it, and I wanted to share you guys his work. At the left you have my Instagram link, my Twitter, and the link so you can get into the group and you can share your work and maybe be like Thomas at the end of the video next week. So thank you very much and see you later.